Good day. My name is Mark Mellor. I'm an attorney here in Riverside, California. Got a number of business clients in Crestline, and I thought I'd make a quick video because a number of them have questions about forming corporate or limited liability company entities. So I wanted to tell you some of the ins and outs of doing so. The first thing you need to remember with a limited liability company or an LLC and a corporation, whether that's S Corp or C Corp, is that they both give you liability protection, meaning that if somebody were to sue you for the work that you did as a corporate entity, they couldn't come after you individually unless there was some personal fraud that you had committed or something of that nature. But the corporate shell protects you individually from personal liability, meaning your house is protected, your stocks and bonds, your bank accounts personally are protected. The next thing that LLC and corporation provide for you are different tax treatments. And for that, you want to consult with a CPA or tax professional and decide what is better for your type of business that you're going to get into or you're already into. What form business entity is going to be better for you from a tax treatment perspective. Once we have that analysis from the tax professional, we can then form the entity involved. Now, some of the differences between the two, for example, an LLC, I have a lot of investor clients that use LLCs for owning real estate or real property. And the reason they do that is because the tax treatments are better for real estate holdings with LLCs than they are with corporate entities. With a corporate entity, you're looking at two different types, basically, an S corporation and a C corporation. A C corporation is taxed twice. S corporation is taxed much like a partnership. Why is that? A C corporation pays tax on the income the corporation receives, and then it pays tax on the income it derives or devolves to the individual shareholder. Whereas an S corporation, taxed much like a partnership, is taxed only on the income that comes through the corporation, gets expensed out by the corporation's expenses, and then goes through and devolves to the shareholder. The shareholder pays a singular tax based on its own tax rate, hence singular taxation. That's one of the big differences between the two. Another difference between the two is that the S corporation, because it gets that favorable partnership tax treatment, it is only limited to 500 shareholders or less. You can't have corporate shareholders as an S corporation. Those are only allowed in a C corporation. You've got some other restrictions dealing with trusts, things of that nature, being shareholders that are involved with an S corporation, but very limited in scope, so I don't touch upon them here. Needless to say, depending on the tax treatment, the type of business you're in, you can invest in starting a new corporate entity or limited liability company entity to protect you and your family from personal liability and give you favorable tax treatment in your particular line of work. If you have some questions or interested in starting up a business entity, feel free to give my office a call and I'd be happy to talk with you about that.